Hello people, Sabelo speaking here. So in this video, I'll be going through all of my watch list just to prepare myself for the week ahead. Today obviously is Sunday, so this is just the Sunday market breakdown. So I'll be starting with the correlation, and then after then I'll go through the technical analysis. So the correlation here is just something like just looking at the strength or the weakness of the market. Okay, for example, let's look at this picture here. Here we have the date. Okay, this date is today's date, which is the 12th. Okay, so I was looking at the strongest currencies and then I paired them together, and then the weakest currencies, and then the neutral currencies. So these currencies here, NZD and GBP, are pushing to the upside. Even if you can just go into any NZD pair or GBP pair, you'll see that all of them are pushing to the upside, obviously. And then the CAD and the Euro and AUD are pushing to the downside. And then these ones, which are neutral ones, most of them they are ranging. Okay, most of them they are ranging. So this thing here, it helps us to see or to identify direction of a particular currency pair. For example, I'll be just making quick example just to show you that this thing works and how it works. Okay, so I will be looking at the NZD pairs maybe. Okay, before we go there, so let's talk about pairing these currencies. Okay, the strongest and the weakest and neutral ones. So how I do it, I pair a strong group with a weak group. Okay, I don't pair like a strongest currency with another strong currency, because the market is going to be a range. Okay, if you pair a strong one with another strong one, then the market is not going to go into a particular direction, but instead it's going to make a range. Okay, and same thing here. If you pay like CAD and the Euro, obviously you're gonna see a range. Okay, Euro and AUD, you're gonna see a range. AUD CAD, you're gonna see a range. So we, by just getting these numbers, we avoid trading a currency that is going to consolidate. Okay, but if we pair a strong group with a weak group, for example, let's say we pair NZD and CAD, obviously we are going to see a push. Okay, we are going to see a clear direction. GBP, maybe with CAD, you are going to see a direction. Maybe let's pay maybe NZD and maybe AUD. Obviously, we are going to say direction. Okay, depending on which currency is a base currency and which currency is a code currency. And if we pair, okay, let's talk about this now. If we pair a strong group with a neutral group, you are going to see a trend. Okay, you are going to see a trend, but it's not going to be a clear trend like this. It's going to be a trend with nice pullbacks, nice pullbacks, nice pullbacks, nice pullbacks. Okay, which is very good, because when we trade, we need to get those pullbacks before we take another trade into that direction. Okay, and if we pair a strong group with a neutral group, again we are going to see a trend. Okay, we are going to see a clear uptrend. So let's make practical examples now. Let's take maybe NZD and Canadian dollar and see if the market is giving us a direction. Okay, NZD CAD, obviously I'm expecting a clear uptrend, because NZD is pushing up with +5, while the CAD is pushing down at -7. Okay, so if we pair a strong one with the weak one, obviously we are going to see a trend. Go to the real market now, NZD CAD. Okay, as you can see, guys, we've been buying here. We've been buying, you know, buying, because the NZD was powerful while the Canadian dollar was weak. This thing, you know, it works like, when people, they trade based on fundamentals, they look at the fundamentals, fundamental direction. It's a similar thing, but here we don't. Me personally, I don't even look at the fundamentals, but these numbers, they tell me the direction of the fundamentals, which is very good, because sometimes this is what I do. I go here into myinvesting.com, and then I look at these indexes. Okay, JPY, AUD, NZD. I go each and every currency just to see the overall trend of that particular currency. Okay, for example, Canadian dollar, all of the CAD is pushing to the downside. CAD sell. So if we come into our into our trading view here, and we are looking for a trade on CAD, we are going to buy CAD. Okay, Canadian dollar, but we are going to sell CAD. Because here it's selling. Canadian dollar, all of them are selling. So that's the I was just giving you the basics of how I trade based on correlations, and then I combine that with my technical skills, and then boom, I have good trades. Okay, let's talk about, let's pair GBP and maybe AUD. GBP AUD. GBP AUD. So GBP AUD, currently we are buying because GBP is strong. GBP is strong with +7, which is very big. GBP is pushing up with +7, and then AUD is pushing down with -5, which is very good. So if we come to our charts here, we are going to see a clear uptrend. So this week I'll be expecting a clear breakout followed by a retest and then buy. So that's it on GBP AUD. Let's look at another one here. Maybe now let's pair a strong currency with a neutral currency. Maybe let's take GBP versus GBP USD, or maybe GBP Euro. Okay, let's talk about GBP USD, because GBP is going to be on the left hand side, which is a base currency, and then USD is going to be the code currency. So let's go. GBP USD. So this thing is going to help you a lot, just to identify a trend. Okay, just to identify a trend. So as you can see, guys, the market has been buying, buying. Even here it acted as if it's trying to break out. Okay, here it tried to break out, but I was aware that the market this is just a fake breakout. The market is still going to go up. Okay, I was aware that the market is still going to go up. So next week, if it breaks above and maybe a retest, then bullish engulfing, and then I'm going to enter there, hold my trade until the next zone. Okay, so yeah, I think you have some idea of how I trade based off these numbers. So these numbers, post these numbers in my Telegram group, into my students, on daily basis, each and every day before London session, okay. So as you can see, I have multiple screenshots here, so these numbers, they help us a lot. So now let's dive into the watch list. Just to see what's happening on the technical side now. So let's start with the Euro USD. The overall trend on Euro USD, the market is trying to be, selling. Okay, the market is trying to sell because it's making lower lows and lower highs. So we are looking for a short there. So the market, okay, let's delete this. So the market has been going up on the H4, buying. But now the market is breaking to the downside. As you can see, the market broke here, make a retest, and then tomorrow I'm expecting a drop, and then pull back, and then a continuation for a sell. So this trade may work well because most of the euro pairs, look at the euro is selling with -5, so that's why we saw a break there. Okay, let's see. So euro is selling with -5, which is very big. -5 is very big. That tells us this thing of a new downtrend is valid. A downtrend is valid. And then the USD, remember what I've said. Whenever you pair a neutral currency with a weak currency, a weak currency is going to take over. So we can pair a neutral one with a weak one. Pairing this is okay. So in this case, euro is selling while the US dollar is neutral, but it's neutral with +2, meaning that the US dollar is trying to go up just a little, and then the euro is aggressively pushing to the downside. So this trade is going to work because of that, because the US dollar is trying to go up while the euro is trying to go down. So what's going to happen here, or let me rather say what I'm expecting here, I'm expecting a breakout followed by a retest, bearish engulfing, then sell after a bearish engulfing on the H1. So this is going to be a beautiful trade. Here we've got a head and shoulder pattern here. This is a left shoulder, and then head, and then a right shoulder, and then we are going to look for lower lows and lower highs. So that's it on Euro USD. Let's see what's happening here. Euro GBP, and let's look at our correlation numbers here. GBP, okay, let's use the black color. GBP, okay, euro is selling, as I was saying, is selling with -5, and then GBP is buying with +7. So if we pair euro and GBP, remember the graph is going to look like this. Remember the euro is on our left hand side, meaning that if we pair euro and GBP, the graph is supposed to go down like this. So going to our charts here, market is making on the daily time frame, on the high time frame, is making lower lows and lower highs, so meaning that overall trend is selling. And then if we come to the medium time frame, which is the H4, we've seen that the market was making a clear bullish trend there, and then broken, retested, broken again, breaking this support, this resistance. So now I'm expecting a retest of that, retesting this previous support, and then making a bearish engulfing, then I will sell after that bearish engulfing, put my stop loss above, then hold my trade to this zone here. So that's how I'll be looking for a short this week on Euro GBP. Let's look at the US dollar. I mean the Euro JPY. Okay, looking at the numbers, these numbers. Now let's use maybe this color here. Okay, Euro is selling while the JPY is neutral, meaning that the graph is still going to go down, although the JPY is neutral. Okay, let's go back. Okay, daily time frame trend, the market has been selling, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. The market is clearly bearish there. So that's a good sign for us to hold our trade for a sale. If maybe we want to hold until the previous support, that's the market is most likely to go down and hit that support zone, because the market overall trend is selling. Okay, and also our numbers, correlation numbers, are also supporting us with this sell here. Okay, the euro is selling with -5, and then the JPY is neutral with +2. Probably the JPY is going to go up maybe next week. It's going to go up into the strong group, and then after that you're gonna see a dramatic move here. We're going to see a crash, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so let's look what was happening. What was happening here? We've seen the market was just buying, and then I was just waiting. I didn't take any sales. And I was also telling my students that if you want to sell, wait for a breakout. Wait for the market to trade below this upward trend line. Okay, I was waiting. The market made a double top there, but I was not convinced that this is a breakout. That was not a breakout. A breakout, it came after. This is a clear breakout. Okay, that's a clear breakout. That's a breakout that you can say now the market is changing directions. Okay, then the market, boom, clear breakout followed by a retest, and then bearish engulfing. That's when I sold there, put a stop loss above. I'm holding this trade. I'm going to close here in the next zone, and if I get another setup, okay, it's going to be like this. I'm expecting the market to break that support, this small support here, make a retest, bearish engulfing, enter after a bearish engulfing, hold to the next zone, which is going to be here. Whenever we are trading with the high time frame trend, that's when we're going to hold our trade for quite some time. If the daily time frame is saying we are selling, and the correlation numbers are also saying we are also selling, then what is the use of closing your trade too early? You need to just hold, because this thing is going to, it can even break the previous support, which is here. It can break it and make a new low. Okay, excuse me. So let's continue. Let's look at the euro. I mean the euro NZD. So here I'm gonna be quick, because there are so many currency pairs that we need to cover. I'm just going to go through all of the pairs. I'm gonna be quick this time. Okay, on this one I was selling. I was selling even last week. I sold here, but on this one I'm still holding. I almost closed here, and then after this big push, then I decided to hold, because there is a huge possibility of dropping to this zone. So let me just tell you why I believe that this thing is still going to drop. Okay, let's go to our charts here. Let's look at the euro. The euro is is negative with -5, which is very, very bearish. Okay, and then the NZD is also pushing up with -5, which is also very bullish. So if we pay a euro and NZD, we are going to get a clear bearish movement. Okay, so if we come here into our charts, that's what I've been getting, and then I've been selling. But I almost closed here on Friday, so I don't know what happened, and then I saw a very big push. But this very big push, it can also come back to this zone, because we have a clear nice separation between NZD and the euro. So I'm expecting to see the market coming to that zone. Even it can even break this zone and come to this zone, because the market on the euro is very volatile. It's selling aggressively. So let's look at this. Okay, here I even got a buy. I got a buy here. I'm still holding this buy. Okay, this one I even gave out to my students here. This VIP group. Okay, NZD I gave a buy. NZD CAD. Okay, GBP CAD. That was GBP CAD. I've seen that most of the CAD pairs, these were the CAD pairs were selling, and then GBP pairs were buying. So if we combine that two, you are going to get a clear push to the upside. So I was expecting a clear push. Okay, and the market respected our setup. So as long as we are trading with currencies, it's so easy to trade using these numbers here. These numbers, currencies, you never go wrong if you have these numbers. Okay, I'm not sure about stocks and indices, but currencies, they are so nice because they go in pairs. Euro against something, XAU versus USD, Euro versus NZD, USD versus JPY. So it always goes in pairs. That's why it's so easy to get those big moves. So here I was the market was, let's look what was happening on the daily. The daily was a little bit buying, as you can see. The moving average was below, the price was above, and then I've seen that choppiness above that moving average. So my job was to wait for a breakout, was to wait for the market to go down. After going down, showing some signs of going up. Okay, showing some signs of going up, and then I've seen that the market was trying to go up, but looking at our numbers here, that's when I was convinced that this market is not going to go this. I was convinced that this is not going to go. Why? It's because both of GBP and CAD was neutral on that week. Let's go back just to see. GBP and Canadian dollar was neutral. Okay, GBP CAD, yes, you see, both of them were neutral. GBP -1, and then Canadian dollar was sitting at +3. So that's why we've seen a consolidation there. So this thing is also good just to avoid consolidations. Okay, just imagine if you've bought, maybe you said, okay, the market has made the lowest point here, now it's going up, then I'm going to wait for a retest or maybe a break and then a retest, and then I'm gonna buy here, hold until there, and then this thing, it goes down and hit your stop loss. Okay, goes down, hit your stop loss. Just you come back again, you enter here, this thing makes a consolidation for the whole week, can you hold the trade in a loss? No, you can't. You're gonna end up closing it. But if you have these numbers, you're gonna be, you are gonna be aware of what is coming, okay? Of what is coming. So I knew that the euro, the CAD is neutral, and then the GBP is also neutral. Just stay away from those pairs unless you want to trade within a range. Maybe you want to, let's say, maybe you want to sell when the market is here, buy when the market is here, trading within a range, then maybe that's okay. But if you want to get a trend, you always want to trade a strong currency with a weak currency, or a neutral currency with a strong currency, just to get a clear trend. So this is what we've been getting. I entered here because I've seen that the market has broken this, and at that time GBP was trying to be to go up, and then CAD was trying to go down. So that's why I caught this entry here for a buy, and then I waited for a retest, caught another entry for a buy. So let's see what's happening here. So here, based on the correlation, the numbers, they look good. GBP is up, and the JPY is neutral, but the price action doesn't look good. Price action doesn't look good. Maybe we can adjust this to this, and let's see what's happening. The price action doesn't look good. Before it was looking good, clear breaks and retest, and then here we've seen a consolidation because both of the currencies were neutral again. So let me just explain to you. Let me just go back. Both currencies were neutral, I believe. Okay, as you can see, GBP was sitting at minus with 0, and then the JPY was sitting at -3. So that's why we've seen a consolidation there, and the market didn't move until we've seen GBP breaking to the upside. But now if it can come back maybe to this trend line here, then make a bullish engulfing on the H1, then I'll be interested in buying and hold until the market, hold my trade maybe to this zone. Okay, so if it can come back and then consolidate, bullish engulfing, then I'll enter there and then hold my trade to the upside. Let's look GBP AUD. On GBP AUD, I'm looking for a buy next week. I'll be expecting a clear breakout. A clear breakout for buy, and then bullish engulfing, then I'll enter after that. Put a stop loss below. Why I'm buying here is because the GBP, all of GBP is getting stronger, and then all of AUD pairs are getting weaker. So this is going to make our trade go up smoothly. And then let's confirm that with our correlation numbers. Yes, GBP is +7, and then AUD is -5. That's good for a buy. That's good for a buy. GBP try. Here I'm in this trade for a buy. I'm still holding it, but I'm in a loss because of a huge spread on paper stone broker on this pair here. But as long as your stop loss is very far, then you can hold your trade without fear, because this is swing trading. I'm holding for like 5 days, sometimes 10 days, Sometimes it can be even less, like 2 days, 1 day. Sometimes it depends on the volume of the market. Yeah, let's see. Gbp Usd took a trade last week, but this trade, no, it was not a good trade because I was approaching a strong resistance. Okay, so it's been selling, and then the market decided to go up, break this trend line here. Trend line was broken, meaning that we are now looking for buys. And then I've seen that the GBP is trying to gain power. I'm not sure about the SEC because I don't have it in my numbers, correlation numbers there. But I was aware that this thing is going to go up, and then I decided to enter after I've seen a break and then a retest, bullish engulfing, then I entered there, put a stop loss below. But I was approaching this strong resistance, strong support, entering here, it was too close to this zone here. So a better entry is going to be an entry after the market has broken, retest, and then buy. So, but I will still hold my trade because I still believe that GBP is still going to go up aggressively next week. So yeah, that's it. USD I got a buy again. Got a buy. Let's zoom out a bit. Got a buy. Got a buy. Let's look at our correlation numbers. Okay, let's start with the US dollar. US dollar, before it was weak, meaning that it was in this group here. It was weak. But now it is neutral, meaning that, okay, before it was weak, meaning that it was selling like this. And then now it's in the neutral group, meaning that it's trying to be in a range phase. And if you pair a neutral currency with a weak currency, what is going to happen? The market is going to go up. Okay, the market is going to go up. So USD versus CAD, US dollar obviously is going to go up because CAD is going down. So if we go, let's jump into our charts here. We've been looking for this breakout here. The market was trading, boom, 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 boom. Change the color. It was selling. I was waiting for this clear breakout, that is completing something like a head and shoulder pattern, for a buy. I've waited for this clear break and then a retest coming to retest the previous head and shoulder pattern, the left shoulder. And then the market made a bullish engulfing there on the H1 though. Let's check what's happening on the H1. So on the H1, the market came to this zone and made a big candlestick. This big candlestick here, it was a confirmation for my buy. It was going down. And remember, the US dollar was getting stronger just a little with +2, and then the CAD was very weak with -5, meaning that this thing is supposed to go up. So that was my entry there, boom, and then stop loss below. And then currently I'm holding this thing and then hoping that it's going to break, come to retest this previous high, make a bullish engulfing, and then enter there, put a stop loss below, then hold until we reach this zone here. Let me show you. Until we reach this high there, this resistance zone. So, and I strongly believe that this thing is going to proceed with an uptrend because if you look at it on the hard time frame, you can clearly see that the market has been going up. Market has been going up, so it can even break this high and start to make new highs. Okay, so it's much better to hold on that trade. Must hold it. NZD USD, this one, I'm currently in a loss. I was buying because NZD is buying with +5, and then the USD is neutral with +2. So, and then I've seen that the US dollar is trying to get power, to gain power. So we're gonna end up seeing something like this. And another thing that is, this thing is overextended now. The market has been buying for quite some time. Anything can happen. The market is going to change directions to the downside. AUD USD. Here I'm expecting a sell. Let me explain why. Looking at our correlation numbers here, AUD is weak with -5. That means AUD is selling, and then USD is now neutral, but at the same time it's trying to go up just a little. It's gaining a little bit of strength. And then if we come here, let's look at our price action from the higher time frame. We've been selling, lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs. So the market can still proceed with lower lows and lower highs. And looking at the current market here, we've been buying, and then I've drawn this nice trend line to the upside, and then the trend line was broken. Retest, and then now continuation for a sell. Retest, continuation for a sell. Okay, so I'll just wait here until I get a nice pattern for a sell. So if the market comes here and make a pullback, this is going to be the hardest entry point, because if the market comes here, it can still go up to this zone. Why? Because here it made a consolidation, and here the market can still make a consolidation, because price action always repeat patterns. So anything can happen here. So the safest entry is to wait for the market to break this support, break it, and then making a retest of it, and then selling. Then that's going to be the safest entry. So that's it on AUD USD. So I'm just waiting there, Okay, CAD Swiss. On CAD Swiss, I'm still waiting for a break, but I've already taken a sell there. I've seen that Canadian dollar pairs are selling, and then the Swiss is neutral, and then the market was buying, and then broken, meaning that we are now looking for shorts. Even if we look at the higher time frame, we can clearly see that the market is trying to go to the downside. As you can see, that's making something like this. Okay, so it's much better to wait for sales entries only if the market is like that, especially if you are new in trading. So the next entry is going to be like this. I'm going to wait for the market to break and then retest and then sell. Why I'm waiting for that? It's because whenever the market is approaching big support, it can bounce there, it can bounce here and go back. But if it breaks, it's going to break with an impulsive move and then make a consolidation move towards the previous support. Then it's going to make a bearish engulfing before we sell. Okay, bearish engulfing is so important. I don't just enter, I wait for those entry patterns. Same thing with the CAD JPY. CAD JPY, I'm still waiting for a breakout here. I was almost taken out with this big push here, so I'm expecting a break. retest and then sell. Same thing with the CAD Swiss. High time frame trend is also telling us to continue looking for sales sales opportunities. So on this one, I missed the entry here because the market didn't come to me. I was expecting to see the market break and then come to the previous resistance here and then make a buy, but the market didn't come to me there. So the reason of buying, it was because the CAD was very weak. Okay, let's use this color. Okay, NZD was bullish, and now it's even bullish even now. So it's buying, and then CAD is selling. So if you pair those, you are going to see a clear uptrend. As you can see, the market has been buying. So that's why I was looking for a buy there. AUD on this one, I'm expecting to see the market dropping because AUD pairs are selling now. -6 is -5 is good for us to look for sales opportunities. So here I'll be looking for a breakout. Be looking for a breakout, retest, sell. Euro, HKD, same thing there. Breakout of that head and shoulder pattern, breaking the neckline, and then I'll be looking for a short after because all of the euro pairs are selling. -5 is huge. So on this one, I took an entry for a sell there. Let me show you nicely. I took a sell there after I've seen a bearish engulfing candlesticks on the H1. This boom, 2 candlesticks, engulfing this previous one here. And that's when I took an entry here, right there. Then stop loss. Fortunately, it was above there. And then I was not stopped out on this one because the spread was not too big on paper stone. But now you can close this trade with break even because the Swiss franc is no longer interested in going down. We've been selling the Swiss. We've been looking for sell, and then now the Swiss is no longer in the selling group. The Swiss is neutral. So the best way is to close the Swiss. Close all of the Swiss selling positions. Here I've been selling nicely, especially here after this bearish engulfing. I was selling because previously, if you can just go back, the Swiss franc was selling with -5, okay, and also my price action was also telling me that this thing is going to drop. Okay, if we can just look at this, the market was selling here. Let's change the color. The market was selling, and then it broke in the previous support here. And draw it nicely like this. The market sold, break that, and then came to retest, making a bearish engulfing. That's when I sold, and then the market, went down nicely. It went down, and then boom. Enter here after a bearish engulfing, put a stop loss above that bearish engulfing. Market sold, boom. But now you need to close this trade here. Close it because it's no longer going to go down unless if next week the Swiss franc is also deciding to be weak, and then if you were lucky, then you held it, and then you're gonna make money. But if you are going to close, as I'm going to close it when the market opens, then we won't be making money and we won't be losing money either. Okay, so that's it on currencies. That's it on currencies. That's how I analyze the market. That's how I approach the market. Because with price action alone, it's not gonna be easy to catch these moves, because sometimes when you follow a trend, the trend is going to hit your stop loss. For example, here, if you can just hold here, this thing can go up, because looking at the correlation numbers here, this thing is telling us that the Swiss is now neutral, but before it was weak, and it was a good thing to sell. On the 7th of September, I was selling, looking for sales, and then on the 8th of September, it was also selling, and then even on the 9th, it was also selling, and then on Friday, that's when all things changed, and then the Swiss was neutral. So we are no longer looking for a sell on Swiss. We're gonna be just chilling, chilling. So that's it on how I analyze the market on Sundays. Hopefully you are going to understand this video, because it's a little bit advanced. This is what I teach to my students. I try by all means to make them understand the correlation part, because correlation is new to most of the traders out there, but most of them, they understand it. So that's it from me, guys. Signing out.